Pittsburgh Steelers running back Najee Harris is making a complete transformation in his contract year. So, Najee Harris, he didn't anticipate facing a contract year in 2024, but that's the reality of the situation now in Pittsburgh because the Steelers have declined to pick up his fifth-year option, and in doing so, Harris is now scheduled to hit free agency next March and become a free agent. So he's more motivated than ever, and his trainer reveals that he's making a complete transformation. But first, before I get more into it, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also, like the video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, Pittsburgh Steelers insider and reporter Brian Backo spoke to Najee Harris's trainer, Josh Scott, who is now working with Najee Harris for his fourth NFL season. And it seems like in the fourth year, they're doing things differently. So, in Brian Backo's article, he writes for the Pittsburgh Steelers Post-Gazette, and he says that the trainer told him that Najee Harris is trying to become a big back with more burst and maintain his power while he trims down a bit to get quicker. According to Scott, he is currently around 235 pounds, but others have said he looks 220, and the Steelers website lists him at north of 240. So that means that he's dropped quite a few pounds and he looks completely different. And just looking at the pictures of him from last season and in the off season, you could tell that he's trimmed down a lot and he's looking to get more agile. And Scott, he also describes Najee Harris as looking much more durable, much more nimble, dropping that maybe 8 or 10 pounds, whatever it was, off body fat, but then replacing some of that with some good lean tissue. He added that it's evident in how Najee moves. He's looking really, really springy, really, really light off the ground, and more agile. That was a direct quote from the trainer. So, when you look at Najee Harris, what he's done through his first 3 years in the NFL and just his college career in general, he's not known as one of the more fleet of foot running backs in the NFL. And notably, Najee Harris is ranked 4th in explosive runs in 2023 with 8. Yet out of those runs, he had 0 runs of 30 or more. He only has 3 such runs, 2 in his rookie season, and only 1 of 40 plus yards. So it's worth reminding that Najee Harris has 834 career rushing attempts over 3 seasons so far in the NFL, which is a huge workload. I'm sure there aren't many players with 800 plus rushing yards attempts and only 140 plus yard game. But of course, that's only one indicator of the speed. But he doesn't play to his unofficial 4.45 40-yard dash time. When you look at Najee Harris' ability, maybe now training this offseason, maybe he's trimming down, maybe he's getting quick and nimble to be able to have those more explosive runs that the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking for. Yes, he could be the bruising back, but obviously when Jalen Warren was put in the game, you could see the quickness, the elusiveness, and just the fast-paced game that he plays with and how much different it was when Najee Harris was in the game. That's why at one point there was a conversation, should Jalen Warren be the full-time starter and Najee Harris be the backup? Because it looks so much different and the game looks so much quicker when Jalen Warren is in there. So maybe Najee Harris, he's trying to do a little bit what Jalen Warren's doing in terms of being a quicker running back, but also maintaining his big stature and being able to run through you as well. Working on both sides, having both abilities would be key. But how much quicker can he really get? Aside from working on his agility, his trainer, Scott, says that Harris has emphasized dropping weight through his diet, and he's also described the running back as extremely clean, almost obsessively clean with his diet. With the weight loss, he also added back some lean muscle apparently. So over the past, like I said, Harris has increasingly found himself sharing a workload now with Jalen Warren as Jalen Warren has started getting better. So the Steelers had to convince him that that was a good thing. But he still wants to touch the ball every single time and be in the game a lot. So increasing his endurance and maybe his possibility of adding a bit of quickness makes it more tempting option for him to stay in the game instead of being the substitute out on certain downs if you need a quick burst for Jalen Warren. And maybe that's what he's trying to do this offseason, or maybe he's just trying to do it to help the team and maybe showcase his skills in a different asset and prove himself for his next contract. Najee Harris, he's still the Steelers' primary running back entering the 2024 season, or you could at least assume so. And I don't think their decision to decline his option is a signal that they intend to play Jalen Warren more. But if Najee Harris makes good on his offseason promise, he may actually find himself on the field more than less. And when you look at the talks or the narrative that the Pittsburgh Steelers have approached a 50-50 balance, especially late towards the end of last season with the running back split. When you assume that, when you just think, hey, they're doing a 50-50 split, no, that is not true. Either of the touches or snaps. Even though the gap has narrowed a lot in terms of Jalen Warren and Najee Harris being on the field, it's still not close to being a 50-50 snap share between the two. So even though that's a talk around the Steelers running backs, it's still Najee Harris seeing more time on the field. And even if he's spending more time on the field, more touches as well. Najee Harris, when you look at his workload over his first 3 years, I already said this a while back, but in 2021, he led the league in most touches of the football. Most plays involved, whether that's catches or running attempts. And that was as a rookie. And now he's 26 years old and he's still seeing a big workload. Even though that workload has cut down a lot over the last few years, going from 307 running attempts to 272 to 255, that's still a big workload in the first 3 years of your career. And sometimes that takes a toll on the body. And sometimes you need to adjust. And that's apparently what he's doing this offseason, adjusting to the workload he's been getting, adjusting to the NFL, what the Steelers need, and how the direction of the game and what the Steelers are leaning towards, and just adjusting to it and making a difference. And you can't say he's at least not trying to improve, because he is. You hear all the Steelers talk about, hey, he can't run fast, he's really slow, and things like that, and that he needs to be a bruising back. Well, he's trying to be a bruising back and also switching the narrative around him. And he's got over 1,000 yards rushing in each of his first 3 seasons in the NFL and the last 3 years. So he's not like he's not being productive. He could have easily been like, hey, I'm doing my job. I'm getting over 1,000 yards. I'm putting up some touchdowns. I'm getting catches. I'm getting yards after the catch and things like that. And I'll just stick with it. I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. I already found a spot in the league, what works for me, and I'm just going to stay with it. Well, that's not what he's doing. He decided, hey, I can improve. I can do what I'm doing, but also find another way to affect the game and help this team. And that's what he has developed, or at least trying to do this offseason. Now we have to see if it actually translates to the football field and live game action, but he's at least trying to do better. And in his final year of his contract, hopefully make the Steelers pay that they did not pick up his 5th-year option, and they'll regret that he's going to be able to go to free agency and pick his team and pick to see the highest offer. Make the Steelers regret their decision. But this is a story on Najee Harris from his trainer and Brian Bacco writing about it. So Najee Harris, he's trying to make a complete transformation of his body. He's already cut down, 10 pounds and become quicker and become a burst type of running back while also maintaining his stature in terms of running through guys as well. If he's able to do both, he could become unstoppable. The Steelers got better on the offensive line, completely redoing the offensive line, adding 2 guys as starting center, starting right tackle, and also another year development with Broderick Jones moving back to his natural spots, and obviously those 2 stable guards. So the Steelers' run game, passing game, it should be much better. That means it looks better in terms of numbers put up in a run-first offense with Arthur Smith. That's what we're forgetting as well. This is now going to be a run-first offense, if it wasn't already, with Arthur Smith running the show, because that's what he's done in the past. So that helps Najee Harris's numbers his touches, everything like that, and can help his value in the open market in free agency next season. But with that being said, let's end this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on Najee Harris's transformation and what he's trying to do in terms of his body and do on the football field to help this team. Do you like that he's becoming more of a dual threat type of running back, or do you think he should just stay as a power back? Also, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below about Jaylen Warren and that 50-50 split narrative. Should they go away from it, or should they go more towards Jaylen Warren? Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, reaction, highlights, film breakdowns, everything like that. I cover it all. I'll continue doing so. And until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.